This video is not for everyone. If you are highly sensitive or easily triggered, then this video is not for you. This video is for people who are able to receive the message in the spirit that it is intended. If that is not you, that's okay. I will see you in the next one. Think twice, think 3 times, think 5 times before you do it. If I'm being honest with you, family is the people that are going to tear you down before everybody else. Ghanaians do not understand boundaries, whether it's personal space boundaries, whether it is business boundaries. There's this culture that I absolutely hate in Ghana, where it's like, oh, forgive. Everything is, oh, forgive. Some of it comes down to religion because they don't care about the business. If you have a business here, you need people that are coming to care about it because poverty is so strong. I'm telling you, poverty ruins so many things before you bring them in. Otherwise, they'll come and they'll collapse the business for you. And I'm not being funny. If that happens, it's your fault. I've been a secretary all my life. That's all I know. And now you've put me in charge of second to command in Microsoft. How is it possible? I don't care. They're coming to eat today. Tomorrow they'll sort themselves out because that's the mindset that they have. They're not future focused. It's such a shame that we have a culture where we can't even trust ourselves. I strongly believe that sometimes you can't help everybody. I'm going to say this and take it with the heart that I'm saying it with. I'm telling you the truth to help you and not to bash, okay? Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, today's video is going to be... I'm going to explain why working with family, especially in Ghana, is the worst thing you can possibly do. And... some of this is going to be generalized across the board when it comes to Black people in general, because I feel like we have this trait, which is really bad. It's so bad. But anyway, a lot of it does apply to Ghana. And then I'll explain the reasons behind why some of those things exist and why it is like that. Okay, so let's just get into it. Now, if you have any type of business in Ghana, and you have a successful business, right? And you have family members around you who you're thinking about employing, think twice, think 3 times, think 5 times before you do it. Honestly, I know in some cultures, when it comes to working with family members, right? It's encouraged. It's encouraged, right? So Lebanese typically will hire their family members to work in the business. You know, Indians will do that and it works for them. It does not work for Black people. Ghanaians especially, it does not work for them. There is this sense of entitlement that we have that makes no sense. And how do I explain this? So there's a sense of entitlement that we have. So no matter if the person has the skills to do the job or whatever, they feel that they are owed a position in your business. Not that you're giving them a position and saying, okay, you know what, let's do this together. This is our business. And so even though it's mine, it's like our business, right? It's like a family run business, okay? So, okay, I'm bringing you in because I can trust you. We can work together. We'll build this business up, you know, like future prospects and things like that. That doesn't work here. And if I'm being honest with you, family is the people that are going to tear you down before everybody else. And that is the truth. I'm speaking the truth here. I'm sorry. I know that hurts a lot and that's not what we want to hear. But, you know, over here on this channel, we need to hear the truth very much so. I've seen it time and time again, especially in Ghana. It happens so much where people have businesses, they employ their family members, and then it all goes wrong. Everything starts going wrong in the business. One by one, brick by brick, the business gets torn down. And some of the reasons behind that is because, like I said, there's a sense of entitlement that family members have where they feel like, well, this is also my business. And so, you know, they become like second boss in the business. So they start abusing things like not turning up to work on time, you know, not doing things half-heartedly because they feel like, well, you know, there's no repercussions of that. And because of the way the culture is in Ghana, because it is very family orientated, it works in family but not in business. It's very family orientated. They feel like you can't sack them. Because if you sack them, it becomes a family matter, right? So now, once they're in your business, they're in it for life. That is it. This is what I do. This is your responsibility as a person who has the business, especially if you're the eldest, to carry the weight of everybody else. In a lot of Ghanaian families, all it takes is one person to be successful, and then everybody else rides off the coattails of that person. It's like, okay, well, that person has arrived, so now me too, I'm entitled to a share of whatever it is that this person has got going on. And that attitude cuts across into everything. There's no professionalism. That's what it is. There's no professionalism within the workplace to say that, okay, these are boundaries. Ghanaians do not understand boundaries, whether it's personal space boundaries, whether it is business boundaries, family boundaries. There are no boundaries. We are all in this together. And that's why, a lot of the times, there was a video I did before and I said that, the currency in Ghana is nepotism. We hire family members blindly in everything, whether they are qualified to do it, whether they are smart, they are dumb, they are illiterate, whatever. We hire them to do something in the business. And they too, when they get the position, instead of thinking, okay, well, I've got this amazing opportunity, let me work hard, let me really prove myself. No, that's once your family, that blanket has been removed. It's not about proving yourself. It's like, this is my business too. And so they come in with an attitude of entitlement and wanting more. A lot of these businesses also collapse because, you hire family members and you feel like you can leave them to certain things while you go concentrate on other things. A lot of the time they don't care. They don't care because as long as they're getting their money at the end of the day, that's what they care about. A lot of Ghanaians care more about their salary rather than the business as a whole. So they will very much be like, well, if I get my money, I'm okay. They don't think about the consequences of, the long-term gain in this. They're very short-sighted. They can be very short-sighted in things. And that short-sightedness even goes to house help as well. House help or people just helping you around in your home, right? You can hire someone, they can work with you for 5 years, 10 years, and you think, oh, you've built trust, this is amazing, this is great, and it takes one fine day where they will show you something. That one day, they can take money from you, you be completely blindsided. It happens all the time. Now, I know we're talking about family. I'm digressing a little bit here, but I just wanted to drop this in there, right? They can do it that one time. So you think, okay, I've got this person that's been working with me for years. I'm going to have a certain level of commitment. They feel like family. You bring them in as family. You treat them as family. They do everything with you. Even sometimes you go staycations. You take them with you, so they can come and enjoy as well. You do all of that. And then there's one fine day that they'll teach you something just because of whatever reason it is. So it's like you're never safe. You're always having to have your guard up to some point. And you should have it up, especially when it comes to family, because they will show you something. When it comes to your family, there's this sense of, well, you owe me. You owe me this opportunity. We've grown up together. You just happen to make it. So you owe me this. Rather than thinking, okay, I'm going to prove myself and I'm going to do really good. No, the onus is on you owe me. So that's why you get that entitlement and it continues throughout. And what you'll find is that even if there are other staff members who are part of the business that are not family members, right? They will see themselves, your family will see themselves as boss. Now they'll start taking liberties. They start maybe even borrowing money from the business. Oh, I'll pay it back. They don't take it seriously. I'll pay it back. They don't expect there to be you to try and put any interest on that or anything like. It's like, oh, I'll pay. It becomes unserious to them. They don't care. They're just coming to satisfy themselves. And even if they're going to crush the business, well, that's got nothing to do with me. I'm here. There's no sense of responsibility. And I can tell you this story. There's somebody that I knew, and they had a business. And they used to travel sometimes back and forth to Ghana, right? They had their family in the UK, and they were here in Ghana building this business. They had all the machines for the business, everything. The business was doing well. They were picking up contracts. It's going really, really well. And this person had to travel back to the UK to go and do something. By the time this person came back, the brother had sold all the machines within the business and completely collapsed it. He had sold every single machine. Now the business cannot function. Now there's no capital to rebuy the business. The whole thing is collapsed. And there was no sense of accountability in it. It was just done. It was just done. And so like, even if you go report the person to the family, it's like, oh, forgive. There's this culture that I absolutely hate in Ghana, where it's like, oh, forgive. Everything is, oh, forgive. They don't hold the person to any type of consequence, right? And so it's always forgive. You know, if you know anything about Ghana, Ghanaians are very passive people. If you have ever seen two Ghanaians that are getting into it, right, that like they're beefing, they're about to fight, they will never fight. They don't fight. They'll just argue with their mouths. It's very rare that you'll see physical blows happening. It's just a lot of talking, and that's literally how it is in the culture. So if someone does something, like, okay, you could be angry, you could be angry for a little bit, but at some point, oh, just forgive. Like, you're forever forgiven. And really, there's no consequence on that person. So that person's left to continue doing whatever. Everybody knows, but no one will talk about it. Everybody knows this person is this way, they do this and the other. Oh, but just forgive them, man. It's family. Please. I hate that thing so much, because for me, I feel like if you've done something right, there should be a consequence to it, so that you don't do it again. That's how we teach our children, right? If they do something, there's a consequence to their action, and you're doing it not because you want to be harsh or nasty to them, because you're trying to teach them about the real world. You're trying to teach them that you can't go everywhere and do certain things. And sometimes that's why some of these people, because they have that attitude, there's certain businesses that they can never work in, certain roles that they will never get, because they have grown up with an attitude of, oh, I'll be forgiven. And some of that comes down to faith as well, religion. I ain't gonna lie, I'm bringing it all in there for you, right? Some of it comes down to religion, because we're told to forgive, continuously forgive. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't forgive, but you also shouldn't forget, because you have to forget and remember, look, this person cut you this way. Are you going to come in to give them your arm again so they can cut you again? No, this time you're going to be smarter. This time when you see them coming, you're going to move out of the way. Do you know what I'm saying? We have to learn from certain things, and sometimes we don't, because we have this whole religion thing where it's like forgiveness has dominated us so much, where we just forgive everything without using our sense too. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope you can hear my heart when I'm saying this. I'm not saying don't forgive. Yeah, forgiveness is good for you, not even for the person, for your own sake, right? You shouldn't carry certain things. But you should use it for wisdom in going forward and how your relationship is going to be with this person. And so Ghana has this culture where it's just forgive. That person's always around. They never learn from anything they've done. They just continue their life as if nothing happens. Zero consequence. And that's how they live their life. You know, as I was saying before, there are no boundary lines when it comes to some of these things too. So what you'll find is that, you know, if something happened at home, for example, when they come to work, they'll bring it to work. If something happens at work, they're at work, they'll bring it home, and it will continue there. It's like there are no clear lines between, okay, this isn't enough. Okay, we're at work, this is a professional environment. We're not talking about who took too much meat from the stew last night. We're not talking about that right now. We are at work, and this is the focus. So there is no way that they don't have a way to differentiate between where we're in work now and where we're at home. The lines are crossed. So whatever bitterness they've carried from the house, they've brought it to work. And then what you'll notice is sometimes they can even be bad-mouthing to the staff. And then your own staff now is looking at you some way. Now, once somebody does that, right, where they have bad-mouthed the boss amongst the regular staff, right, it now germinates. That person has become a rotten apple in the business, and now they are polluting everybody else, and it just ruins your business for you. Now your staff no longer have respect for you. Now they know what's going on in your family, in your household. You see what I'm saying? And then you lose respect, and then now nobody respects you. Now you can't work with these people anymore. It's almost like the only way to do it now is to sack everybody and start again. And sometimes that's the way you have to be. If you want to have a business here, you have to be cutthroat about certain things. There's so many businesses that I know that people should not be in because they don't care about the business. If you have a business here, you need people that are coming to care about it. You need people that are going to want to see the business succeed, have passion for it. And a lot of the time, that's not your family. You're better off hiring someone who's not necessarily there for a salary. Yes, we all need our salary. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you don't need your salary. You need your salary, but you care about the business too. You want to see the business grow. You see the future for the business, and you see your potential opportunity in that business as the business begins to flourish. But a lot of people here, they don't have that. They're just seeking for today because they live a lifestyle which is very hand to mouth. So it's like, oh gosh, as long as I got food today, tomorrow we'll take care of tomorrow when it comes. And that attitude is ingrained in Ghana. And that's how people can steal from you so easily, because it's not about, okay, well, you know what? Let me see what I can do and manage this situation, because, you know, the future prospects. Whereas, you know, we in the West, the way when we have a job, we look at the future prospects, how that is going, how we're potentially going to climb the ladder and get better and upgrade ourselves in that way. But here in Ghana, and maybe other countries within Ghana, in Africa, right, that same attitude doesn't exist. It's like, because poverty is so strong. I'm telling you, poverty ruins so many things, because people have been impoverished for so long, and that's what they know. To break that cycle of poverty is so difficult because, and it's not, I wouldn't even say it's necessarily their fault even, because they don't know how else to live. They have lived hand to mouth for so long that when you give them an opportunity to do something better, they can't handle it. You know, I explained in another video, like if you give me $1 billion and say, look after this, there's probably going to be some misuse of the money because I'm not equipped to deal with it. You know, we have to look at things properly. There are some situations that you just shouldn't be given yet because you're not ready to handle it. And that cuts across the board in life. There are some positions you should not get until you have been trained to the level where you can understand how it works. So it's not just about, okay, he's my brother, let me give him the opportunity to do this. No, let him work and understand. Some people who are smart that do employ family members, what they do is they start them off very low positions, right? To show the commitment, and for them to get an understanding of the business before they lift them up. You can't just bring your brother who was a gardener somewhere, like not even like one of these, you know, like proper looking after the garden so that everything is beautiful. No, all he does is he comes, use machete and make sure there's no weeds. You can't bring someone, and that's not a diss, by the way, I'm just using it as an example, right? There's no way you can bring someone like that and make them vice president of a business, CEO, a co-CEO of a business like that, because they don't understand the logistics of how the business works or how it comes together. They don't understand how to run a business. They've never seen money floating across a business like this. So of course they're going to want to have a bigger share. Like, I haven't seen this before. They don't know how to manage it. That's why it's important, if you decide to bring family members into your business, that you make sure that they are trained and that they understand and have a grasp of what business is before you bring them in. Otherwise, they'll come and they'll collapse the business for you. And I'm not being funny. If that happens, it's your fault. It's your fault because you have bowed to family pressures. You know better, because I'm not being funny. If you have managed to pick yourself up and you have managed to put yourself together to a position where you've been able to create this amazing business, you should know better. You should know that there are certain things that you just cannot do. Not that you shouldn't do, you just cannot do, because people are not ready for certain positions. It's like, I can't say that, you know, I've been a secretary all my life. That's all I know. And now you've put me in charge of second to command in Microsoft. How is it possible? I have to learn certain things. And honestly, when it comes to business, it's better for someone to have learned all those levels so that they know what it's like. And when they go through those stages, they have more respect for the people that are below them, so-called below them, right? In hierarchy, so that they understand and have more compassion for those kind of roles, because they've done it before. And so that's how the person should be trained, so that they have an understanding of the business. It's more about the understanding behind the business rather than just bringing someone in because they happen to have the same bloodline as you, you know, because before you know it, your business will be run by family members that have no clue and don't care. They're coming to eat today. Tomorrow they'll sort themselves out, because that's the mindset that they have. They're not future focused, and you're future focused. So if you don't want your business collapse, there's certain people, don't hire them. It's as simple as that. Family members, they bank on the fact that you can't fire them. Because if you do, it becomes a whole family matter. Everybody's going to get involved. Now, all of a sudden, They start calling you wicked. They say, hey, that person is wicked. Or their brother was working with them and they fired their brother. Now you've become wicked. Now you have been demonized in this thing. So in order to avoid all of that, just don't hire certain people within your business, Or if you want to, like I said, start them at a lower level and see the commitments, see the things, watch them very closely, watch how they relate to other people, how they relate to people who are doing similar jobs to them. And if they have a certain level of respect, if they have the respect and you see that they really want this for themselves, they're really trying to better themselves, then you lift them up. And then you lift them slowly until you know that you can trust them, until you know that you can leave the business for them for a few days and come back and everything is fine. It's such a shame that we have a culture where we can't even trust ourselves. If you can't trust your family member, how do you even trust people from outside? If we can't get that part of working together right, how are we able to really expand ourselves? How are we able to go global with certain things? Because it's almost like we're always having to hire foreigners to do things for us because there's more trust. They have more loyalty in businesses. They care about building the business. They're not coming to shaft you. It's so annoying. It's such a shame. And if we don't get unity right within ourselves, we can't go anywhere. Once you don't have unity, forget about everything else. That is it. A lot of people just hire family members out of pressure because they feel like it's what should be done. Because of the Ghanaian culture and how you're raised, it's very much your family member. Once one person makes it, the family makes it with you. Everybody gets upgraded with you. And honestly speaking, it shouldn't be like that. I'm just being honest. There's no need for it. I believe that people should earn positions, whether they're your family or they're not your family, whatever. Like if I have a job going, if you're not qualified, whether you're my blood or not, if you're not qualified to do it, I'm going to find someone who can do it because I need this business to grow. Yes, maybe I'll help you out every now and again with certain things. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it or that you shouldn't do that. But I'm saying in terms of giving them a position of responsibility, they're not ready for it until they're willing to prove themselves. And it's almost like you have to bring in this tough love thing because tough love is the only way that certain people are going to learn. And it's not about trying to be mean. It's not about trying to keep them down or whatever. But, I strongly believe that sometimes you can't help everybody. If you're a rich person and you come to Ghana and then you're driving in your big car, you drive down certain areas and you see all these beggars, these people begging, they come knock on your window. Oh, boss, please, please, please. Boss, please, give us something. They beg. You get floods of them, right? They flood the car. Literally, you can't even see out the windows because they've surrounded the car. If every day you give them money, every single day, and you keep on doing that, guess what happens to you? You start to deplete. And you're giving to people, and this is not all the time, you're giving to people who are they're happy to beg. I'm just saying it straight. They're happy to beg. They're not going to take the 100 cedis that you gave them and think, okay, what can I do with this 100 cedis to better myself? No. They're going to take that money and they're going to put it in their bellies. They're going to do whatever they want with it. They're just going to eat for today and figure it out tomorrow. They'll be back tomorrow. They'll look for your car tomorrow and they'll come and beg again. Like I said, they're not future focused. People like that you can't help because if you try to help all of those people, you yourself will join them. Before you know, you're outside in the car knocking on somebody's window because you cannot help everybody. It's impossible. And I know that sounds harsh and it sounds mean, and I'm sorry. I hope you can understand me for what I'm saying. You cannot help everybody. The ones you help are the ones who you know that you gave them 100 cedis and they went to go and look for what they can do with that 100 cedis to better themselves. Those are the people that you help. Those are the people that you welcome in the business. You train them from when they are small. You train them from when they have low positions and you bring them up. Those people will stay with you because they know what you've done. I remember my dad had this friend. I say friend. So my dad was older, and my dad would invest in this little boy that he saw, and he would help him out. He helped him with school fees, and he brought him to a position where, as this guy got older, he managed to create this business for himself. And this guy was so thankful for my dad. They had such a great friendship because the guy recognized the things that my dad had done for him. And my dad was not rich. My dad was just, he's trying to do his own thing, have his own hustle going on. And because the guy recognized that my dad had done these things for him, he forever held on to him, and he would always, oh, what can I do for you? How can I help you? They always had that kind of relationship, and those are the relationships that we should be building amongst our community. Not the ones where people come to take, but the ones where people come to build themselves and want to do better. And that's how you build community. You build a community of people that way, and not through people who are going to be greedy and just don't have the mindset to think outside of today. Those are not the people that you want to work with. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much, but I just did this video because I feel like it's important, because sometimes when we come to Ghana, we come with open hearts and we want to help people, but it's not everybody that you should be helping. And I know that I've specifically said family, but family it doesn't even have to be blood. It can be people who you think you're close to, people who you really want to give a chance to. Think very well, because, Charlie, please. I'm going to say this and take it with the heart that I'm saying it with. I'm telling you the truth to help you and not to bash, okay? There are some Ghanaians who, they don't wish you well. They have a lot of jealousy and they're only there to take from you. And you have to recognize these people as quickly as possible, because they will bring you down to their level if they can. And they have patience and they have time to wait for you. And that cuts across the board. That's not even Ghana. That cuts across the board. Let me just say, there are people like that will always have jealousy and just not want you to win in life because they haven't made it. You shouldn't make it. There are people like that, and you have to be careful of people like that. And so when you come to Ghana, especially, right, let me just say, there are these people that will flock around you. They want to do everything to help you settle. What you don't realize is that some of these people are actually taking from you. They are trying to build trust with you, quick trust with you, so that they can eventually take from you. And a lot of us have had these stories where these people have come along, they've latched onto you because they see you as money. They see you as you can give them, they're going to suck from you because you don't know any better. You don't know the rules of what it's like to be here yet. They will take from you. You have opened your heart to these people where you're now seeing them as family. Oh yeah, come to the house. So you drop all your boundaries. You don't have boundaries anymore with these people. And before you know it, you've been shafted. And so I'm just telling you this to have I don't want to say to have your guard up, but just have your alerts, your alarms on, right? Don't completely let yourself go when you come here, because you could be taken for a ride, and it happens. It does happen. So this video is just to open your eyes. That's not to say every Ghanaian is like that. That's not to say every family member is like that. I always have to put these disclaimers, because every time I look at the comments, people are like, but that's not every Ghanaian. I never said it was every Ghanaian. And I don't feel like I have to keep putting these disclaimers in, but I do have to put these disclaimers in, because some of you just don't seem to get it, right? I'm not talking about everybody. Nothing that I say cuts across the board for everybody, but it applies to some. And it's better to have the knowledge about some than have a blanket view of everybody, okay? So these videos are just to inform you, and it's not to bring hate, it's just to bring warning. That is it. Have your guard up. It's just so that you don't fall into problems that you don't need to fall into, and that is it, okay? Hey, as for this mic has suffered today. But anyway, I'm going to end the video right there. Let me know what you think about what I've said in the comment section. Let me know if it has happened to you, if you've experienced it. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. So, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, I am out.